Now moving into second part, which is the product. So if you are not in a software world, some aspect of what I'm going to talk about is it will be a bit more jargonistic, but please bear with me as the general advice applied to your industry as well. So what's one of the biggest thing, again, I've noticed is that for people who are not, or companies that are not software companies or software startups, one of the problem is that they want to do a lot of things at the same time, but with one development team. And that is a big no-no. You need to be able, even if you run agile, first, again, upfront planning. You know me, I talk about upfront planning until you're gonna be sick about it, because that is one of the biggest things, one of the biggest flaws in companies that are fast-paced and startups. You need to slow down and really understand how is the development team working. One of the things that people don't bear in mind when planning is the fact that when you have a product that's already live, you need to bear in mind that your development team will spend some of the capacity, some of their time will be allocated to fixing bugs or fixing issues on the platform that's already live. Which means that the amount of time you have, the split apart that you have to do new developments will be reduced. As such, it's really important that you understand your funnel. So if you have 5 products that you are building that goes into a small funnel, this is the amount of work that the team is going to do, right? Do you have enough people or not? So this is something that I had to work with the teams, and you see that in many organizations. Whenever you find that there's a team that's struggling, or whenever you find that things are not working well, then find out where is the bottleneck. If you understand what the bottleneck is, then you can see whether you reduce how much you put in the funnel, and you plan, being you plan really well, or you kind of try to do things a little bit differently, right? So this is something that I'd like you to also bear in mind when you're looking at what you're struggling with the team. So the idea of doing too much with less capacity definitely will hit you really hard. There's no focus for any member of your team, and things are not delivered on time. How do you fix that? So how do you change around or turn around this scenario where you have very capable product managers that feel stuck? To sit with every single one of them, one at a time. You're gonna sit on the floor, but whiteboard or virtual or not, it doesn't really matter. Just put some post-it notes, and we started working through the big blocks of the product, what we believe things will go right or not. I know that you might not be project manager, but you, as a product manager even, you need to think about how it's going to launch. And if your company do not have any project managers, then it's something that unfortunately the product manager needs to bear in mind. Again, it could be something as simple as listing the people that will be affected, and start working on what is it that each person is going to need. We start working on that. If you are not sure, ask them, bring them in the conversation, especially in a company where people have been hurting for a while. People know what they need, and they are dying for the opportunity of you to invite them in the conversation. So if we are not sure what our customer service needs, we just ask them, what is it that you are going to need when we go live? To finish off, one more advice. Beware of the shiny object syndrome. And that happens a lot, especially when undertaking a software product, new technology, and digitalization. AI, data science, blockchain, cybersecurity, all of those are very, very important technology that if you want to become a leader in your field is something that you need to consider. But does it mean that you need to consider it right now, right at this moment? There is a difference between having a long-term strategy and a short-term. Every single thing that you add on top requires time and money and people. So if you are in a situation where you have, especially on the leadership team, you have the pressure to bring on this new shiny technology, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. What I'm saying is that you need to look at the long-term planning. We want to be able to do that in 2 or 3 years, and this is where we are today. If we want to do that very quickly, we want to bring this new technology quicker, what is it that we need to fix in the short-term goals that will allow us to do that, right? So then you can move the time. It's up to you. It's your company, it's your business. You know what you're doing. But it's really about taking those decisions, bearing in mind what's going on in the company, bearing in mind what you are going to put on the side to allow something else to run. Those are some of the issues that we looked at when it comes to the product aspect. So if it's you, I will really advise that you look at what kind of methodology that you are working on. What is your understanding of developing a software product? How are you bringing some aspect of project management and change management? How are you looking at the capacity, and especially when people are very busy and things are not moving? And again, as I've said before so many times, upfront planning and the roadmap we know the plan will change, the roadmap will change, the risk assessment will change. But knowing that before will help you to get better later on.